Long ago, before cities rose and before ships crossed the wide blue sea, there was only water, wind, and sky. From the soft waves and the song of the ocean, a spirit awoke. Her name was Yemayá. She opened her eyes for the first time and saw the sunlight dancing on the water. The waves sparkled like silver fish. The sound of the ocean was her heartbeat. She smiled, and the sea moved with her breath. Wherever she looked, the water followed. She was not just in the ocean, she was the ocean. Yemaya's skin glowed like deep brown shells, smooth and shining. Her hair was long and dark, flowing like seaweed when she moved. When she laughed, the foam turned white and bright, and when she whispered, the tide rose to listen. For many years, the world was quiet. Yemayá danced across the waters, learning how to shape waves and guide the moon's reflection. But she began to feel something missing: voices. The sea was wide and alive, yet no one spoke to her. One day, as she floated near the shore of a warm land, she saw people for the first time. They were small and gentle compared to her, but they had bright eyes and quick hands. They were building canoes and singing songs. Yemayá listened carefully. The songs were about the river, the wind, and the ocean that gave them fish and life. The people didn't know she was watching. Still, they placed gifts by the water: shells, food, and tiny carvings of women with flowing hair. Yemayá felt joy rise in her chest. "They remember me," she said softly. From that day, she watched over them like a mother. When they sailed far into the ocean, she calmed the waves. When storms came, she covered them with mist so they could find their way home. One night, when the moon was high, Yemayá rose from the sea. She appeared before a fisherman named Olu, who sat alone by the shore, mending his net. He dropped his work and stared at the tall woman rising from the glowing water. "Do not be afraid," she said, her voice soft as the tide. "Who are you?" Olu asked, trembling. "I am the spirit of the ocean. I have watched your people for many years." Olu bowed his head. "Then you are our mother," he said. Yemayá smiled. "If you call me mother, then I shall care for you as my children. But remember, the sea can give and the sea can take. Always respect her." Olu nodded. "We will never forget." From that night, Yemayá became more than a spirit. She became mother of the sea. People built small altars by the water, lighting lamps and whispering her name before sailing. Children played in the waves and laughed, believing Yemayá watched over them. But peace never lasts forever. Many seasons passed. The people along the coast grew and built bigger boats. They learned to fish farther from land and to travel to other villages. Every time they pushed their boats into the water, they called out, "Mother Yemayá, keep us safe." Yemayá always heard them. Sometimes she sent dolphins to swim beside the boats. Other times she painted the sky with a soft red dawn, so they would know the weather would be kind. When storms came, she raised her hand and calmed the angry waves. Her love spread across the coast like sunlight after rain. One afternoon, the young daughter of Olu, the fisherman who had first spoken to Yemayá, walked to the beach. Her name was Amara. She loved the ocean more than anyone. She would sit on the sand for hours, watching the foam curl around her toes. "Mother of the sea," she whispered, "thank you for watching over us." A gentle wave rolled up and touched her feet. In the water, she thought she saw a woman's face smiling back. Amara laughed, and the breeze lifted her hair like silver threads. As she grew older, Amara learned to fish and steer the small family boat. She often spoke to Yemayá while she worked. One day, when a sudden storm began, she held the side of the boat and shouted, "Mother, please guide me home." The wind calmed at once. the clouds opened and a single beam of light showed her the way back to shore. That night, Amara told her father, "I felt her near me, Baba. The Sea Mother saved me." Olu nodded slowly. She always hears when the heart is honest. But far away, beyond the horizon, something was changing. Strange ships with tall white sails began to appear. They came from other lands, and the people on them looked different. The villagers watched from the shore, unsure. Yemayá felt it first. A deep pain ran through her waters. These ships did not come in friendship. They came with chains. She saw men and women taken from their homes, crying out as they were forced onto the ships. Her waves rose in anger. "Why do they harm my children?" she cried. The ocean roared, but the ships kept sailing. She tried to block their path with storms, but the wind drove them forward. She tried to lift their chains, but human cruelty was heavy. So Yemayá followed them, silent and watchful, across the endless blue. Night after night, she swam beneath the dark hulls of the ships. She could hear her children's voices praying in many tongues. Some asked for death, some for deliverance, and some only for a drop of hope. Yemayá sent them dreams of calm beaches and familiar songs, so they would not forget who they were. Sometimes the sea opened its arms and took those who could bear no more. Yemayá caught their spirits and rocked them in the deep until the pain faded. "Rest now," she told them. "The water will remember your name." When morning came, the ship still sailed, but the ocean carried whispers, songs from the drowned that became part of the sea's rhythm. Every wave that touched another shore carried a memory. Yemayá vowed she would follow these ships until her children were safe again. The ships moved slowly over the vast ocean. The people on board were frightened and tired. Some whispered prayers to gods they remembered from home. Others stared silently at the waves. Yemayá followed every ship, gliding beneath the dark water, invisible but present. One night, a young boy named Kofi clutched a piece of driftwood, rocking back and forth. His voice was small, but it carried over the wind. "Mother, hear me," he whispered. "I am afraid. Please help me." A wave rose gently beside him, shining like silver under the moonlight. Yemayá's voice filled the breeze, soft and calm. "I am here, little one. You are not alone. Hold my hand in your heart, and I will carry you through." Kofi looked at the water and thought he saw a woman's face in the foam, smiling at him. He clutched his driftwood tighter and whispered, "Thank you, Mother." Elsewhere on the ship, an older woman named Abina cried quietly. She had lost her family during the capture. Yemayá's waters swirled around the ship, creating gentle waves that rocked it like a cradle. The old woman felt a warmth in her chest. She closed her eyes and felt as if someone was holding her hand. "They are with me," she whispered. "I am not alone." Yemayá's love stretched across the ship, from deck to deck. Every person who feared the dark or the sea felt her presence. Sometimes she whispered through the wind. Sometimes she appeared as a silver reflection on the water. Her presence was quiet, but powerful. Days passed. The ships moved slowly across the endless blue. Some people fell ill. Some could not bear the hunger and sorrow. Yemayá watched them all. She could not remove the chains from their hands, but she could carry their hearts. In the deep of the night, she held their spirits, singing lullabies of the ocean in a language older than the sky. On one particularly dark night, a small child tried to call out for his mother. His voice cracked with fear. Yemayá rose just above the waves. Her hair flowed like the water itself. Her eyes glowed softly, and she spoke so only he could hear. "Do not cry, little one. I am your mother. I will always watch over you. You will see your home again in dreams, and your heart will never forget your family." The child smiled through his tears, clutching a tiny piece of cloth that had belonged to his mother. "I feel you," he whispered. The sailors and captives began to notice small miracles at sea. Sometimes the wind blew in the right direction. Sometimes fish leapt near the nets when the nets seemed empty. Yemaya was working quietly, unseen, making small moments of hope in the midst of great suffering. When the first land appeared on the horizon, the people were weak and scared. They had traveled far from everything they knew. But Yemaya sent gentle waves to guide them toward the shore. The water sparkled with silver light, and some children thought the waves were smiling at them. Amara's granddaughter, Nia, held Kofi's hand as they stepped onto the sand. They looked back at the ocean, feeling the presence of a mother who had crossed the sea with them. "She was with us," Nia whispered. "She never left us." Yemayá watched silently from the water. She knew her children would have to learn a new land, speak new words, and find new ways to live. But she also knew she had planted a seed in their hearts, the memory of a mother who loved them, even across the endless waves. When the ships finally reached the shores of the new land, the people stumbled onto the sand, exhausted and frightened. Their eyes were wide with wonder at the strange trees, the colorful birds, and the wide rivers. The sky looked different here, but the ocean was still the same, and they felt Yemaya's presence in every wave that lapped the shore. Kofi ran to the water's edge, kneeling in the sand. "Mother," he whispered, "we are here. Please stay with us." The waves curled around his feet, and he felt a warmth in his chest, a comfort he had not felt for so long. Nia, now holding her baby brother, placed a small piece of bread into the water as an offering. "For you, Yemayá," she said softly. "Thank you for keeping us safe." The water shimmered, and a gentle breeze carried the scent of salt and flowers. It was as if Yemayá herself had accepted the gift. The people began to gather along the beach every morning and evening. Some brought fruits, others sang songs, and some simply spoke their hearts into the wind. They remembered the old songs from Africa, but new songs grew too, songs that mixed old rhythms with new sounds of this land. One evening, as the sun sank behind the hills, Amara's granddaughter, Nia, and her friends danced barefoot on the sand. They twirled in white cloth and sang to Yemayá, asking her to bless their families and guide their children. The waves sparkled under the moon, reflecting their joy. "Mother is here," Nia said, laughing as the water curled around her ankles. "She never left us." Even as the people worked to build new homes, clear the land, and plant crops, they always returned to the sea. Yemayá became their silent teacher, showing them which plants would grow best, which tides would bring fish, and which storms they could survive. She did not speak with words they could hear, but through the rhythm of the waves, the whisper of the wind, and the gentle rocking of the boats, she guided them. One day, a young woman named Amali noticed a small shell shaped like a heart washing up on the shore. She picked it up and held it close. "It's her," she whispered to her brother. "She is with us." The children laughed and ran to place more shells and flowers in the water, learning that even the smallest offering was seen by the mother of the sea. Yemayá smiled. Her children were beginning to understand. Even in a new land, they remembered her. They sang, they prayed, and they celebrated life. And in return, she filled their days with comfort, their nights with dreams, and their hearts with hope. But the world was not yet fully calm. Shadows of fear and sorrow still lingered from the journey across the ocean. Yemayá knew her work was not over. She had to teach her children how to live in this new place and how to keep her memory alive through every storm, every joy, and every challenge they would face. Seasons changed. The people built small homes near the shore. They planted gardens, cared for their children, and learned to live in this new land. But every day, they returned to the sea. They remembered that their mother, Yemayá, was always there, in the waves, in the wind, and in the sparkling light of the sun on the water. Nia knelt by the water, letting it touch her fingers. "Mother," she whispered, "we are here. We will be careful. Please guide us." Her brother Kofi pointed to a small group of trees nearby. "We should build our homes there," he said. "It will be safe, and the ocean is close." Amara, who had grown older and wiser, nodded. "Yes, near the water. But remember, we must respect the land as we respect the sea. Mother taught us that." The people worked together, carrying wood, pulling ropes, and clearing stones. The children ran through the sand, laughing, while the elders looked out to the waves, remembering the long journey and those they had lost. Each day was hard, but the ocean reminded them that Yemayá was watching. At night, they gathered around small fires, sharing stories of home and songs from Africa. Nia began to hum a melody her grandmother had taught her. Slowly, the others joined in, their voices blending with the sound of the waves. "Mother will hear us," Kofi said, smiling. "She always hears our songs." One evening, as the sky darkened and clouds rolled in, a sudden storm arrived. The wind blew fiercely, and the waves threatened to pull the small boats into the sea. The people screamed, unsure what to do. "Quick, hold the children," Amara shouted. "Keep your feet on the ground and do not panic." From the water, Yemayá rose, unseen but powerful. Her voice whispered through the wind, soft and calm. "Do not be afraid. I am here. Trust me." The people froze, feeling a strange warmth despite the cold rain. Kofi grabbed a branch and planted it firmly in the sand. Nia held onto his arm. The waves splashed around their ankles, but slowly they calmed. The storm passed as quickly as it had come, leaving the land wet and sparkling under the moonlight. That was her," Kofi said, wide-eyed. "Mother saved us." Amara smiled gently. "She has always been with us. She always will be." Days passed, and the people learned to fish in the new rivers. They planted gardens, harvested fruits, and began to trade with nearby villages. Yemayá guided them quietly, sending gentle currents, teaching which waters were safe for fishing and which tides would bring the most fish. Children learned to offer small gifts to the sea each day, shells, flowers, or even simple drawings. They whispered their hopes and dreams, believing that Yemayá could hear them. One day, a young boy named Bala lost a small wooden carving in the river. It floated out to sea. Bala cried, thinking it was gone forever. But that night, he awoke to see the carving on the shore, surrounded by a soft light. He smiled. "Mother returned it," he whispered. "She sees everything." Even the elders noticed strange blessings. Crops grew faster, and fish leapt into nets more easily. They began to understand that Yemayá's love was not only for protection, but also for teaching. She wanted them to live with respect for the water, for the land, and for one another. At night, as families slept, Yemayá's songs drifted across the waves. Children dreamed of her rising from the ocean, her hair flowing like the tide, her eyes glowing with care. They woke with hope and courage to face the day ahead. Weeks passed, and life on the new land began to feel more like home. The people worked together, building homes, planting gardens, and learning which foods grew best in the soil. The children played along the shore, laughing as the waves chased their bare feet, while the elders shared stories of Africa and the journey across the sea. But even in this new land, challenges appeared. One morning, the river that ran near their homes began to rise suddenly. The current grew strong and fish swirled in panic. Families rushed to secure their small boats and carry their possessions to higher ground. "Stay calm," Amara shouted. "Mother will guide us." From deep in the ocean, Yemayá rose, invisible to the people. She pressed the water with her hands and whispered to the currents. Slowly, the river's flow calmed, and the fish swam safely back. The children gasped as the water shimmered under the sunlight, knowing that their mother had protected them once again. That evening, the villagers gathered around a fire. Kofi picked up a shell and held it close to his heart. "Mother is always with us," he said quietly. "Even when we are scared, she shows us the way." Nia nodded. "We must always remember her. We must always honor her." The people discovered new plants, new animals, and new friends among the neighboring villages. They shared stories of the ocean and of Yemayá, teaching children how to speak her name and how to listen to the waves. One day, Bala noticed that the waves seemed to dance more brightly than usual. He called to the other children, "Look, Mother is happy today." The children laughed and ran along the beach, placing flowers, shells, and small gifts in the water. Each offering floated gently on the waves, and the children imagined Yemayá smiling beneath the surface. Even the elders began to feel a sense of joy that had been missing during the long journey. Amara said softly, "Mother teaches us patience. She teaches us courage. She is here always." As time went on, the people began to organize small festivals along the shore. They sang songs, danced barefoot in the sand, and told stories of Africa and the sea. Sometimes the waves returned the offerings, and sometimes they carried them away. Either way, everyone felt Yemayá's presence. One evening, under a full moon, the villagers noticed something extraordinary. The ocean seemed to glow softly, reflecting the moonlight with silver streaks. The children ran along the shore, calling, "Mother, we see you." From the deep, Yemayá rose, her hair flowing like the tide, her eyes gentle but full of strength. She smiled at the children and whispered through the wind, "I am always with you. I watch over you. You are my children." The villagers felt a deep peace. They understood more than ever that Yemayá's love was not only for protection, but also for teaching, guiding, and reminding them of who they were. Even in a strange land, they had not been abandoned. The villagers continued their songs, and the waves seemed to echo every note. The children danced, their laughter mingling with the sound of the ocean. Bala pointed to the water. "Look! The waves are smiling. Even the elders were moved." Amara said softly, "See how Mother shows her love. She is always with us, guiding us, protecting us, and celebrating with us." Throughout the night, the villagers placed more flowers, shells, and lanterns into the sea. Some floated away, some returned to shore, and all were received by Yemayá. She watched silently, proud of the people who had survived the journey across the ocean and who had built a new life with love and courage. One young mother, holding her baby in her arms, whispered, "Mother, may you always be with us. May our children grow strong and kind as you have guided us." The ocean glowed softly under the moonlight. Yemayá's presence filled the hearts of all who had come to honor her. They felt her love in every wave, every breeze, every shimmer of light on the water. As the years passed, the festival became the heart of the village. Travelers from other lands came to witness the celebration, bringing drums, dances, and new songs to share. The people welcomed them, teaching them the ways of Yemayá and how to honor the mother of the sea. Nia's children danced with children from other villages, laughing and singing together. Kofi helped the fishermen place lanterns in the water for safe journeys. Bala led the younger children in floating shells and flowers, teaching them the meaning of gratitude, respect, and love. Even in the hardest times, when storms threatened or crops failed, the villagers remembered the lessons of Yemayá. They trusted that the mother of the sea would guide them and teach them, just as she had taught their parents and grandparents. From the water, Yemayá watched silently. Her hair flowed with the tides, her eyes shimmered like moonlight, and her heart overflowed with pride. Her children had survived, thrived, and remembered her. They had learned to live in harmony with the ocean, the land, and one another. The festival continued late into the night. Children ran along the shore, lanterns in hand. Adults sang songs of love, hope, and remembrance. The waves sparkled as if smiling, and Yemaya rose once more, her form reflected in every ripple. "This is my gift to you," she whispered through the wind. "Remember your courage, your love, and your songs. Keep your heart strong, and you will always find me." The villagers listened, their hearts full of gratitude. They knew that the Mother of the Sea had guided them from the beginning, across oceans, through storms, and into a new life. They would never forget her. Years turned into decades, and the children of the survivors became parents themselves. They told their own children the stories of the ocean, of the long journey across the Atlantic, and of Yemayá, the Mother of the Sea. The village had grown into a thriving community, full of laughter, songs, and life. Yet every day began and ended with a glance at the waves. Naya, now older and wise, walked along the shore with her grandchildren. She held their hands and pointed to the water. "Look," she said, "Mother is always here. She watches over us and every child who plays in the waves." The grandchildren gasped at the sparkling water, feeling as if the ocean itself was smiling back at them. Kofi, walking beside Nia, placed his hand on a small basket of flowers they had brought to float in the water. "Our children will learn her songs, just as we did," he said softly, "and they will never forget her." The people continued to honor Yemayá every day, not only during festivals, but in small acts of gratitude. A fisherman whispered her name before casting his net. A mother sang her child to sleep while rocking in a hammock near the shore. Children skipped along the waves, leaving small offerings in the sand. They remembered the old songs from Africa, but new songs grew too, songs that mixed old rhythms with new sounds of this land. One afternoon, Bala's daughter, Amari, found a small heart-shaped shell washed ashore. She held it close to her chest. "Mother," she said, "we will always remember you." From the water, Yemayá rose, her long hair flowing like silver threads over the waves, her eyes shining with gentle pride. She brushed the waves with her fingers, creating ripples that sparkled like stars. Amari smiled, feeling warmth spread through her chest. She knew her mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother had all been guided by this same love. Amara, now very old, looked at the horizon. "She is eternal," she said softly. "Across oceans, across generations, she watches. She loves. She teaches." The village continued to thrive. New songs were written, new stories told, but every child knew the old ones, the songs of Africa, the songs of the journey, the songs of Yemayá. One afternoon, a young boy ran to the shore holding a small drum. "Mother," he said, "I will sing and play for you." He beat the drum slowly, then faster, until the rhythm matched the waves. Children danced, adults sang, and the sea shimmered as if the mother of the sea herself joined the celebration. Yemaya's spirit was in every movement, every note, every laugh. Her love had traveled across the ocean and into every heart. She had protected her children, carried their sorrow, celebrated their joy, and guided them to this new home. The villagers understood something important. Love, courage, and memory could cross any distance. The ocean that had once carried pain now carried hope. The tides whispered her name. The waves sang her songs. Yemaya's presence was eternal. At sunset one evening, the villagers gathered on the shore. The sky glowed pink and gold, the waves sparkling in the fading light. Nia, now very old, held her great-granddaughter's hand. "Do you feel it?" Nia whispered. "That's Mother Yemayá. She is always with us." The little girl laughed, letting her toes touch the foamy waves. "I can feel her," she cried. "She loves us." From the water, Yemayá rose, her long hair flowing like liquid silver. Her eyes shone with gentle light. She watched her children, and their children's children. She saw the songs, the laughter, the love, and the offerings. Her heart was full. Across the waves of the Atlantic, she had watched over her children. From Africa to Brazil, her name was whispered in prayers, sung in songs, and remembered in every wave. Yemayá, mother of the sea, protector of souls, and symbol of eternal love, would never leave them. And so, the ocean whispered her name forever. Every wave carried her presence. Every tide remembered her promise. Love endures, hope survives, and the mother of the sea is eternal.